This
Okay.
conference will now be recorded.
Yeah. So I want to do one more project. Okay. And uh, that will be like a complete project. Okay. So everything. So the first project we did was to understand different file, different structure, how data moves from one um, file to another file, right? From models to view, view to your template, things like that. So we have completed our MVT. Okay. Want to do logins as well. Can we do admin? So next project we'll talk about admins also. Yes, and with that we will finish it. Okay. So I've already given you one project. That project I want you to do. Okay. So what do we do? Tell me. Okay. So what I'll do is, okay, today and tomorrow we'll continue with this new project. Okay, Rajesh. Abhinav is not talking to me.
Yes, sir.
So today and tomorrow we'll do new project. Then anyway you'll have 3 days break, isn't it? So in that 3 days, you do the assignment. Okay. And when
Okay.
we meet on Thursday, right? When we meet on Thursday, please share the assignment with me. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Great. So let's get started. I'm going to create a new project. Okay. How do we create a new project?
The Django admin start project and
Django
project
admin
name.
to start project. Perfect. Okay. So one second. Let me close all these things which I don't need. The system has become very slow. I don't know. I need to clean one day. I have to sit and clean one day. Let's see. Okay, so I'm here inside this project. I can't be here. I have to go back. So I'm going to go to cd dot dot. Okay, cd dot dot. I'm in my website. Okay, and this is where I'm going to create my new project. So yes, so we use Django admin, right? Django admin, then start project. Okay, I hope you can see my screen. So Django admin, start project, and your project name. Okay. So I'm thinking, should we create a new project or should we add in the existing project? Okay, let's create a new project. Okay, so that way we will be clear, like what needs to be added. But you can create a new app directly inside the project. Okay, so let's create a new project. So I'm going to call it as start project monthly challenges. Okay, so we'll create challenge for every month. Okay, so we can create this app. We will let users create challenges for every month. Okay, so from Jan to December. So we will use the loop concept to see how to fetch data for each month, etc. So Django admin start project monthly challenges. Hit enter. Okay. This will take some time to create your project. Once your project is up, is created, then we'll create an app called as challenges. Oops. Yeah, खाली से सकते ये तो some lot of time. Yes. So a project is created. How do we see that? You go to my website and we'll close my polls. First, what happened? Where did it create? Okay, maybe it's not getting refreshed. Let's try again. It's not getting refreshed, I guess. Hmm. No, what happened? Wait, let me check in the folders. It's not appearing here. So let's build the app also meanwhile. Okay, how do you build the app? Python? No. So we have to, okay,
No, sir.
that's good thing. Okay.
Django.admin start app.
No, no, no. You have to go inside this project, right? And Python will work. So yes, see, folder is created here, right? So when you are at this level, Django admin. But when you are inside the folder, it is Python, right? To start the app, we need to use Python, not Django admin. Okay. So it will say cd monthly challenges. Okay, it's not refreshing, but folder is created. Monthly challenges. Okay. Now we say Python manage.py. Okay. Your start app, start project, start app, and you give your app name. Okay, so we'll go to say challenges. Let's see. Okay, so this is going to create app. So app is also created, right? Okay, so let me open this page to tell you my plan. Okay, it's purely refresh program. I think PyCharm is not yet refreshing. Okay, let me open my notes and I'll show you what I plan to do. Okay, Django. Session 4. Can you see my PDF, guys? Yes, no? Can you see my screen, PDF?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to create different URLs. Okay, so you see that, so this will be mypage.com. So right now we are building on our own system, right? So it will be the IP address, right? 127.0.0.1 colon 8080. So that's the okay. Then I'm going to create a post. Okay, and this is going to list all the months post. Okay, so we have Jan to December, isn't it? So this will list all the months, and when you click on Jan, it should give us the information for Jan. Okay, so it is, it's like a blog. Okay, when you're creating something like a blog, so this is how it should do. Okay, so open your home page, then you click the post, then you start. So each of those slash is an app. Okay, and then you can click on the link on the post and it should give us a specific post. So you click on URL, it's going to give us the result. So for that we will use URL config. Okay, so we will put the settings, we'll create add the settings in the URL config. Okay, and then in the views what we're going to do is, this is about the views. Okay, so each of the page it will be a view, isn't it? So in the view we are going to do three things: load and prepare the data. So let's say if you say January, the generated related information will be in the database. So we need to get the information from the database, load it, run any business logic. Okay, so if any front end logic is required, we will run it and then display on the screen. Okay, this is what you're going to do. So our app is now ready. Okay, so when we do run server, of course, app will be ready. So what we'll see here is that right now we have user. User will send request to the server. Okay, so right now since we are doing developing our own machine, the server is also on my machine only, right? Server is also here and the UI will also be here. But in normal circumstances, okay, the user will use from their mobile phone or laptops, desktops, and your server will be hosted somewhere, right, by your hosting company. And then the server will have database server, right? So views are responsible for processing requests. That's why we used HTTP request. And the response is what you get. Okay, so processing request, the input, okay. So so it needs to know, okay, so what is the URL, okay, which HTTP method it has to use, get or post. Okay, so here we'll talk about get and post also. Okay, and then you create a response. So response will be sent based on the request, response will be sent by the server, and that response is displayed on the screen. So how should the response be displayed? That is also part of the view only. Okay. So let's get started. We'll start building. Okay. So what we are doing is we will create index. First of all, we'll have our index, and then for every month we'll have a page. So you have a default index, and for every month we will build a page. Okay. So let's get started. So see here, now it is refreshed. We can see the monthly challenges here, isn't it? So first thing, we will go to views and we will add our index, the default view, right? Monthly challenges, then you go to challenges, then we go to view. Okay, so views is there. Now let's start developing. Okay, so first we need to call the HTTP response, because response, see, the response has to be sent, right? When you open the web page, okay, the server should say which page to display, right? So that's why we have to import response. So response will be in Django HTTP. So from Django.http, okay, import HTTP response. No, response. Yes. Okay. Now we will build our first view. Okay. By default, we have index, right? So we'll say def index. Okay, and it should handle request, right? And let's create some dummy information for now. So return HTTP response. No, it's not coming. Response, and home page is created. Okay, let's create this home page first. Right now, we need to link it different. We need to link different URLs, right? So we need to go to the URLs config. So we have to do two things. First, in the project URL, we have to link the app URL, and in app URL, we have to add the web pages link. Okay. So we go to first app URLs. Oh, where did I create? Sorry, guys. No, correct only, right? Okay, so this is challenges is our app only. So we come here, we will create a new Python file. We call it as urls.py, right? So we created app URL. Now here we will go and we will add our path. Okay, so I'm going to say from Django dot urls, okay, import path. Okay, then from dot import views. Okay, so from current structure import views. So view will be able to see this, or URL will be able to call the respective view, right? So when you launch a URL, it should be able to call the respective view. So I come here and I'll add what is called as URL patterns. Okay, so URL pattern has to be a list URL patterns equal to, okay, list, and here we will add our URL. Okay, so path. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, okay, so let's do this first. Okay, so we are going to call the views dot index, right? So views dot index will be called. But what I want is I want the default page to open when somebody calls index, right? So for now, I'm going to assume that we are going to call January. We'll call January. So that will be our default page. So it's also the first month and also a default index page. Okay. So I'm done here. Okay. So path takes two parameters. Okay. So we are saying that user will type January, and when they type January, they should get views.index. Okay. Now, similarly, we have to make, we have to say that we have created this urls.py, right? It was not there in the app before. Okay. So we need to tell to the project that, oh, we have created a new file which is URL. Okay, so I come here. This is monthly channel. This is our project. So I go to URLs and we'll make an entry for this. We can delete all this. Can remove all the comment. Okay. Okay. So what all things they have added in the import? Okay. So path will add include. Okay. So when you're adding your own views, we have to say include. Okay. So this is for the admin. Okay. So admin page is already added. Okay. We will add our project. So what is our project name? Challenges. Our project name is challenges, isn't it? So we added challenges, and we'll say, okay, if you see challenges, okay, then include challenges.urls. Okay, if you don't see challenges, don't ignore it. But if you see challenges, then call our challenges.urls. Okay, so challenges is the project name and URLs is the file name. Right here we have URLs. You can create any file name. Okay, you can create abc.py and you can add here challenges.abc. Okay, but it's better to give URL because that has a standard meaning, right? When you see URL, oh, you know, okay, this will have the list of URLs. Okay, so I think we are done here. Any error? Yes, you have to add comma, right? Right. So two bracket matched. So now our URL is ready. Okay. Now when we run the server, okay, how do we run the server?
So Python manage.py run server.
Python. Okay, so I can use this and go back Python manage. Okay, and then I say run server. Only starting project is your Django admin. Everything else is done by manage.py. So when you are using manage.py, it is Python. Okay. let's go here, let it do all those things. I'm going to go here and sorry. Okay, so here I'm going to say http://127.0.0.1/challenges, right? That's our app name. Is it not ready yet? It is ready. Oh, port 8000. 8000, right? Yeah. Now, what's the problem? Current path challenges didn't match any one of these. Okay, challenges did not match. Did I do a spelling mistake? Challenges here. Challenges, same spelling. Challenges. PNGs, yes. And challenges.urls. Challenges.url. So challenge, this looks correct, right? This seems to be correct. Let's go and see if we made any mistake here. URLs. Okay. And yes. Okay. If I don't give January, Control X. Hmm? Or if I give January and I go here and say, yeah. So we are not at a default page. Okay, so January will do that. But when we give blank here, okay, it should give us the page. Okay, so for now, let's say that. Okay, so what we'll do is we will create separate page for January. We'll create separate page um, for challenges as well. Okay, so before that, let's see what we have done and what we plan to do. We'll go back to this. Here you see. Okay, so here we have request response flow. How does it happen? Client will send a request using your browser, right? Request goes to server, which is running the Django server. Okay, so when it receives a request, it will look in the URL conf. Okay, now first thing it will do is to look into the project URL config. Okay, so it'll say okay, so it'll say okay, I see challenges and I see admin. So when you give /challenges, it knows, oh, if it's /challenges, I need to send it to this URL page. I need to go to this page. If it is admin, I need to go to this. Okay, so when you give challenges, then it will route it to this URLs. Okay, okay, so that's how, there will be multiple views, isn't it? And we will create multiple views. At least we'll create 12 views for each of the month. So looking at the URL conf, it knows which views to pull, and then that view will be displayed to the client browser. Right? Okay. So now we'll do is we will create view for each month. Let's create view for each month. So I'm going to views. Okay, so I'm going to add
शीशा नहीं लगेगा वो शीशा लगाना है उसमें तो लगाने के लिए तो मेरा लड़का वो तो झूला से करके बाहर से लगाना पड़ेगा तो लड़का करेगा लेकिन ये
let's create two first.
आप ग्लास सप्लाई करके वो जो साइज में है वो काट के देगा आपका जो भी बनेगा मैं देखूंगा क्योंकि ये मेरा फाइनल वर्क है इसके बाद जो काम बचा नहीं है तो आप जो भी कहेंगे हम दे देंगे अभी कोई एक बच्चा आके वो ग्लास लेके आएगा और वो साइज में काट देगा
Okay, right? So now we can go
और किसी को भिखारी ना
now we can go
जो भी बनेगा आपका मैं देखूंगा उसमें आपको
here, but see, we have added here, but did we add anything to the URLs pattern yet? Isn't it? We haven't added. Now the problem here is, okay, if we create 12, let's say 12 months, we need to add 12 entries. Sorry, we need to add 12 entries here, isn't it? Now let's say if you keep on creating different blocks, right, over the period of time you'll create hundreds of blocks. Now when you create hundreds of blocks, right, you'll have to make hundreds of pattern here. So instead of that, what we'll do is we'll create dynamic, we'll create dynamic pattern. Okay, so we call it as dynamic pattern. Okay, or we call it as dynamic path segments. Okay, say that okay, whatever you get here, look for same text in the view. Okay, whatever you get here. So to create a dynamic pattern, okay, what we do here is we replace this with angular bracket. Okay, now when you put angular bracket, and this is what we discussed before, when you put in angular bracket, that means it's a variable, right? When you put something, it means that it's a variable. Okay, it's a variable. Okay, now if it's a variable, it has to be replaced using some class. Some class has to replace this, right? I mean, someone has to replace this value, isn't it? Okay, last time if you remember, when we wrote that template, right? So our view sent those values in the template, and that's how the value in the template got replaced. So everything else was fixed, the HTML code was fixed, just the value is to get replaced. So something has to send it to the model. Send to the view to replace it, isn't it? So for that purpose, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a function here where in our views. Okay, view is something which is handled by the user. Okay, so everything has to start from view. Instead of creating multiple these, I'm going to create a function here. Okay, so what I'll do, I'm going to create say def, okay, say month or something. I'm going to say def monthly challenge. Okay, now here it will have a request, right? Every view has to have requests. Every view has to have request, and then since we are in the URL, you'll be adding some text, isn't it? So we have to capture that URL text, and based on the exact URL text, we'll go and look for the view. So I'm going to call that text as month because it's going to be month, right? So I'm going to call this. So this variable is going to read. Remember, like in last project, we created details, vote. So we had request comma question ID, right? So that ID is read from the URL. So month will be read from the URL. Okay. Now here I'll say that, okay, we'll say if, okay, if let's say month equal to, okay, if month equal to January, okay, you can give your logic here. So logic will be, okay, so we'll add some text here. Let's say challenge. Okay, so for now I'm doing it here. Okay, later I will show you how you can add this data in the database and then read from database. Okay, so let's first create a template. So if month equal to this, okay, so I'll say January colon, okay, I will, so challenge for this, I will complete 100 kilometers walk this month, let's say. Okay, let's say this is the text. Okay, similarly we can add for, let's say we'll add couple of more. Okay, so elif go automatically. Okay, okay, so elif else. Okay, in else we'll okay, so we'll pass, okay, not found. Okay, so we need to import not found here, http response not found. Okay, so here when you give some other text which is not here, okay, so let's say we'll call it January, we will call it February, we will say March. Okay, we'll change it here as well. February, I will complete, say, 500 kilometers cycling this month. March, I will not eat sugar entire month. Okay, some challenges. Okay, healthy challenges. Okay, else, okay, we will say else return http response not found. Okay, and you can give some message here. Invalid month name. Okay, let's do for 3. Okay, then we can extend for 12 months, right? Okay, so okay, so this is inside else. Now if everything is fine, okay, if if they enter valid month name, then we have to return the text, that challenge text, isn't it? So here return, it will be http response, right? http response, and then we will say this challenge text. Okay, so this is it. Now we have to go back and link this class here, right? So I'm going to go to URLs. Okay, and I'm going to say here month. Okay, so month was a variable, isn't it? That is being passed. So month, and instead of views, okay, index, we will add monthly challenge. Okay, done. Now something, okay, needs to change, isn't it? Okay, so let's go and see if this works, or do we have to do anything more? January. It takes some time to refresh. See, now you got it. Challenge is January. Okay, because we are reading it as a month variable and it's going to match the challenge text and give us the output. Any questions so far?
No, sir.
Sir, if you want to February, you want to place it in index as a February.
Yes, you can provide basic index. Okay, so let's say just like we did it, right? So this is path here. You say path. If it is blank, nothing. Then you say views dot index, right? And okay, and you go to views. We have index, isn't it? Okay. Now when we go here and we say challenges. So see, this is your index page. Okay. So you can design, you can use template and you can create a beautiful home page. Yes. So if it is blank, it knows that if it is blank, where in the URLs. If it is blank, if nothing is passed to the app, it will open views.index. If it has something, okay, now this is very important. If it has something, okay, so you cannot create some other function here because whatever you give, when you call this month, okay, or anything slash anything, it will go to this views, right? For example, if I go here and I say Jan, okay, because Jan we have not used, right? So invalid month name. So anything that you give here, it will go to index dot, sorry, not index, monthly challenge. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now, as per my plan, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make sure that I'm going to instead of doing it by Jan or month, let's handle by number. Okay. So if I give /1, then what happens? Okay. So I'll create a new view here. Now see here. Anything that we give, it will go and check. Okay. /1 also, if I give, it will go and check in the monthly challenge, right? Okay, so there is an option where you can force it to think in a integer or string manner. Okay, so for example here, okay, in URLs, anything here it's going to check for the month. Now, okay, so I'm going to add this one also, month, but here I'll say, okay, inside this I'm going to say if it is string, then do this. Okay, if it is integer, then do this. Okay, because see, if you don't give string or integer, anything that slash we give, it will go and look for in the monthly challenge. Now, what I'm trying to do is I'm going to say that no, if it is string, then you go and check in the monthly challenge. If it is integer, then you go and check in monthly challenge num, let's say. Okay, so we'll create a new view, monthly challenge num. Right, so this is how you can handle string and integer. So def monthly challenge num, right? And here again, request and month we will give. But remember, this time the month has to be integer. That's when it will go here, right? Right? And we can copy and paste the entire thing again. Okay. So, but here, okay, the thing is this month is an integer, right? So we will say 1. We will say 2. We will say 3. Yes. Okay. So let's go and see if it is working fine or not. Okay. Challenge is 1. It needs to refresh. Looks something wrong here. Okay, let's go back here. So monthly challenge num, right? Then when I go here, not found. Okay. Then to month. So we'll say str. Okay, we'll say int month. It should go to monthly challenge underscore num. Did we add that monthly challenge underscore num? Monthly challenge underscore num. Yeah, we added it, right? If month equal to 1, 2, 3, yes, why? Still going to the other one, right? Or let's see. I think maybe it is read. It is being read as a string, and we have to say int of month. Okay. Let's see if this works. It is already integer, right? So let me try one thing. We go to challenges to put this one before this. Okay. Now I think it should work. I'll tell you. Okay. See? Yeah. See what happened? We got 1, right? So it is Okay, you see that? So see, the problem is, okay, and this is what I think the problem is, when we give string before, right? So everything can be read as a string. Integer can also be read as a string. So the one was being read as a string, and it was going directly to the string thing. So see, the order is also important. It is going to match the first order. Okay, if there's no match here, then it will go here. If there's no match here, it will go here. So when we gave string before, it was one can also be read as string. So it was reading as one and going to the string view, not to the integer view, right? Okay, so now you can actually manage different output for different value based on the data type. Okay, now in this case, it is no point repeating this again and again, right? What we're doing is, when we go to views.py, we are repeating same text. Why to repeat same text? Okay, so instead what we will do is, okay, if this is called, okay, in this case I'm saying, okay, in this case, because the data is exactly same, right? So if this is called also, we'll call this one. So we'll let this class, okay, or this function rather, not class. Class is the view, right? This function should call this function. So we'll do such a way that this function by number will call other function. Okay, but you can create based on in the data type, right? Yes or no? Yes. So let me try this. Month text. Okay, and I'm going to say if it is 1, I will say month text, month text, month text. Okay, we'll return this. March. Okay, so now I'm saying return month text. Okay, now let's see what happens. Okay, so it is displaying January because this is what I gave, right? Text. Now, instead, if I have to call the other one, right? So this is the text which I'm displaying on the screen. Okay, how do we call? If the number is called, it should call the other one also. Okay, so to do that, okay, I'm just thinking. Okay, okay, so we have to what is called a redirect. Okay, so instead of returning response, okay, we will say redirect. We want to redirect to a different URL. Okay, so HTTP response found, comma, HTTP response redirect. Okay, we'll use this one. So I'm saying that if it is 1, redirect it to January. If it is 2, redirect it to February. So okay, HTTP response redirect. Okay. Now when I say redirect to what? Redirect to challenges, isn't it? Challenges slash your month name, right? So add month text. Okay. Okay. So I did it to show you that, to show you that it's not, it's, that it's pointing to the by num only. Now when I do refresh, it is going to January. It's redirecting it to January. If I say 3 and hit enter, see, it got changed. So it is redirecting now. So what we have learned today? We have learned today that you can create different views based on the data type and how to redirect a page, right? So if somebody says challenges /3, it is redirecting it to March. There is no need to give duplicate values in both the functions. So instead, okay, our monthly challenge is the main function and we are redirecting it to monthly challenges, the numbers.
Sir, if you place 1 means it will display January or January month.
It is redirecting to January page, right? If I say 1 and hit enter, okay, it is because I said January, right? So it's going to challenges plus January. Okay, so if I say 1 equal to March,
Okay, sir.
here, and now if I say 1, it's going to March. Okay, so this is how you can redirect. Are you talking to me? Your voice was not clear.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir? Sir, if you want to display full information means you want to use define function or HTML function, sir?
No, sorry, I didn't get you.
Means you want to like Wikipedia.
Like Wikipedia, okay.
You want to display full information.
You want to display full? Yeah. See, I'm only creating the what do you call the views, right? But the way we created template, you create a template and display your full information. We will do
Okay,
that.
sir.
We will do that as well. We will do that. Okay, slowly we'll do that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Maybe okay. We'll spend some more time today. Maybe another 10 minutes. We'll do that. Okay. Today may not be possible to create template. Tomorrow we can create template. Yes, we can create full display.
Okay.
So now you know. You should not ask me. Right? Now you know how to do it. You create a template.
Okay.
You add the information there, and you link this view to that template. What? Isn't it? We'll do that here also.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now what we'll do is we will see some more usage of how to use I mean using Python to improve our program. Okay. So this is one way. Instead, what I will do is I'm going to create a create a dictionary. Okay. And in dictionary we will add one for the list of month. Okay. And based on the key we will we will redirect it. Okay. So here as this is your class, right? So here at global level, okay. So I'm going to say creating variables. I'm going to create a dictionary. So I'm going to say month by name or whatever. Uh, I'm just thinking we know what to do here. So let me okay. Let me create a dictionary with month and the text here. Okay. So later we will push it to the database. Okay. So I'm going to say monthly challenge details or whatever. Okay, monthly challenge text or whatever, right? Okay, so this I'm going to create a dictionary. So dictionary will have key value pair, right? So in key I will give the month name, and the value I'll give the text for that month, right? So here it becomes January, and here you give the text for the month, right? And I'm going to do this for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Okay. So you give February. We'll do this one. Okay, and we will stop here for today. February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, December. Okay. So January we'll put it here, and same thing we'll do for April, same thing we'll do for 7, so we'll repeat it. October. October. Okay. Now I come here. Okay. See, second last. So we'll add it in November. AUTUST. May, February. Okay. Now let's go down to March. This is problem here. December, September, June, right? So this is done. Okay, so this is done. Okay, now here in num, okay, what we'll do is we'll look at the position. Okay, so so we'll read only the keys from the dictionary. Okay, so challenge, this is challenge. Okay, let's go to this one. Okay, this one I'm talking about. Okay, now, so month name, we will say list of. Okay, when we say so this is a monthly challenge text is a dictionary, isn't it? And if I say monthly challenge dot keys, okay, this will give us, this is, so dot keys will give us keys. What are the keys? Keys is January, February, March, April, the text. So we get the keys here. Okay, and then we are converting into a list. So end of this, we'll have a list with values Jan, Feb, March, April. Yeah. Okay. Now, okay. Okay. Now this. That will delete it. Okay. So month text is a list. Okay. Of course, we can't pass a list here, so we need to figure out month number or something like that. We'll call it. Okay. So see, if you enter, so the list will have what values? It will have 0, index as 0 to 11, right? So we created a list. So values will be Jan to December, and the index of the list will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 11, right? So if somebody enters more than the length of the list, okay, or if they enter more than 12, let's say, right? They entered month 13, okay, then it should give error, isn't it? Okay, so I think I should not have deleted. Okay, let it be. So see, if month, okay, month value is greater than 12, right, then we should return the not found, right? HTTP response not found. HTTP response not found. Okay, if you enter more than 12, up to 12, it's fine, right? So I'm say invalid month, okay, something like this, or invalid request or whatever, right? Month request or something. Okay, or instead of this, okay, if you want to make it generic, you can say len of month text. Okay, so len of month text is 12. Okay, in case let's say you add 20, in case you have only 10, so accordingly it will manage. So it is more better than using just 12 here. Okay, so did you get this? So if entered is more than length, it should return invalid. Okay, if it is not, then what? Right? What should be your month num? Month num, right? Your your month num should be what? Okay, month num here. Okay, so if you enter 1, it should give the index 0, right? So our this monthly text has January, February, and has index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I enter 1, it should call January, right? If I enter 5, it should call May. But the 5th index is actually June, because counting here indexing is from 0, isn't it? So we have to do Okay, so we have to say months here. So which one has months? This one, right? This has your month. So month num, okay, so is month text of month minus 1, right? So if you enter 5 as month, it will say month text of 4. If you enter 12, it would say month text of 11, right? And your list monthly challenge, okay, the keys will return Jan to December. So it is going to pick this month name, right? Now let's try to run this. Okay, if I say 1, it should give January if everything goes well. So see, it gave January. Did you get it, guys? If I say 12, no, we have added till 12, isn't it? So December, okay, because here we have not had. Okay, so here is fine. It is redirecting. It is redirecting to December, but we haven't added December text here, isn't it? So that's why it's giving invalid. But this function is working fine. Okay, this function is not. So it is able to redirect. But if I say 13, okay, it will give the first function itself will give an invalid month, invalid request, month request, right? So if I give 12, it's able to redirect to December. But since we do not have a matching text for December, yes, this is this one is getting called. Where this one, invalid month name, right? So we can fix this one as well. Any questions so far, guys? All good? Okay. So here, okay, see the monthly challenge text is going to be what? It's a simple dictionary, isn't it? So we call the dictionary. Okay. Now here we have to pass the key. Key is what? The month itself, right? So in dictionary, if you say dictionary name of key, it will give you the value. So this value will come here, isn't it? Okay. Now, if this key doesn't exist, okay, so directly, you can right. Now we go here and we say December, let's say. So it's giving us December data now. If I say 3, giving us March data now. Okay, I say 11, it's giving us November, right? Now let's say by mistake I give November's. So see, it is giving exception. We need to handle the exception. Okay, because the monthly challenge text of November's, there is no matching content there. So it is giving a exception. We need to handle the exception. How do we handle the exception? We use try block. So if by mistake, if we enter a value which does not exist in the dictionary, we need to, okay, handle it using try block. Okay. So what we're saying is, if it is fine, then it's fine. If it is not fine, then accept anything. Okay. What we'll say, HTTP response not found. Okay. Invalid month name or whatever, right? So now when I go and say November, you don't get exception, but you get a message saying that invalid month. Uh-oh. Okay, so what we'll do is, since it's in try, okay, we will okay, so okay, what we can do is try except finally, right? You can write it in finally. Okay. So, or we can cut this and paste it inside this. That means if it is working fine along with this, work this, otherwise go to this. Now when I say November's, okay, now the right. So what I'm going to do is then, okay, I'm going to say challenge text here, and instead of saying response not found, okay, I will say it should accept, right? Okay, I think we are not saying return, right? That's why it is still going to the main line, okay? When you say return, it's the end of the function, isn't it? Now it should work fine. Refresh problem. Yeah, see that? Invalid month name. Right? Any question, guys? All good so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if there are no question, we'll end it here for today. So what we did,
Sir, how can I get this recorded video?
I will share. I'll share the same link, okay? I will share. I missed to share. I will share.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So today we learn how to redirect. We learn how to create multiple views, right? So now, okay, tomorrow we will try to work on this views itself. Okay. So I'm going to share the video by end of today, guys. Okay. You will have it. Okay, bye, everyone. Have a good day.
Bye, sir.
Sir, tomorrow also